As we approach a new generation of home console next year with the Xbox Scarlet and PlayStation 5, I like to take a look back at past generations, and one system that is still awesome to use all these years later is undoubtedly the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is arguably one of the best video game systems ever created. Microsoft learnt so much from the original Xbox and went into the 7th generation confident in their abilities to deliver a killer game system. When released in 2005, the Xbox 360 had widescreen HD gaming out of the box, and Xbox Live was completely integrated into the dashboard. But maybe they were a little too confident. Microsoft's target was to beat the competition and rush the Xbox 360 to market, and while successful, the Xbox 360 had its problems with a record number of defective units suffering the red ring of death. Initially, this was denied by Microsoft, but ultimately Microsoft confirmed the problem and offered a warranty service for any red ring of death issue. The number of defective units is arguable, but was said to be anywhere between 23 and 50% depending on the source, but everyone agrees that it was bad business for the giant company. In 2010, Microsoft released the newer Slim model systems that was a brand new design and had its hardware issues fixed. Microsoft and the Xbox 360's impact cannot be understated. Exclusive game franchises such as Gears of War, Halo, Fable, Forza, Project Gotham Racing and more were all very successful. The Xbox 360 in general terms ran games better than its competition. AAA games such as Mass Effect 2, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, well, you wanted to play them on the 360 for a better overall experience. Xbox Live is the online multiplayer gaming service that was completely integrated into the Xbox 360 dashboard. With the free Silver and subscription-based Gold service, the service is still up and running on the Xbox 360 even to this day in 2019. Xbox Live Arcade extended on the original idea to include arcade games as an add-on disc for the original Xbox, came to the Xbox 360, offering a cheap and simple way to download smaller bite-sized game releases from a digital distribution network, and it was an absolute smash hit. With over 600 Xbox Live Arcade games released, there is something here for everyone. And the icing on the cake was the backward compatibility of original Xbox titles. The emulator, known as Fusion, is the basis for what's used on the Xbox One X to play backward compatible Xbox 360 and original Xbox games. Fusion isn't perfect, but supports a list of over 400 original Xbox games with mostly good performance. So, it's 2019 and the 360 is still very much alive and well. Xbox Live is still running, games are cheap, and some of the best games ever, I might add, have been released on the Xbox 360 to date. But the real reason that I want to talk to you guys about maybe wanting to pick up the 360 in 2019 is the awesome modding capabilities of the system. In 2007, an announcement was made on popular modding forum xboxscene.com that there was a build of MAME running on the Xbox 360. At the time, there was no public way of running unsigned code other than if you were lucky enough to own a development kit. But it didn't take long for public methods to become available. The Xbox 360 can be modded with methods known as either JTagging or Reset Glitch Hack or RGH. I've covered Xbox 360 security and both of these methods before, so feel free to check out the links in the description below for more info. But essentially, modding your Xbox 360, like most consoles, open up the system to do so much more than originally intended, and in 2019, I recommend anyone who's considering picking up an Xbox 360 to look into modding the system. One of the biggest reasons is to replace the dashboard with a custom one. The Xbox 360 has a dashboard that provides a pretty good user experience, but it's not perfect. So why would you want to replace the dashboard? Well, a custom dashboard offers features that you just won't find on a regular one. For example, the ability to rip games from DVD direct to your Xbox 360's hard disk without needing the original game. You also get FTP and web server support in order to access the Xbox 360 via networking. There's also custom theme support and the ability to apply different skins. Another cool piece of functionality is the ability to download title updates and apply them programmatically. And of course, you get the ability to run Homebrew and emulators. These are just some of the features that you will find, and it will really open up the system. The dashboard known as Aurora is the preferred custom dashboard to use, which is still in active development that is based on the earlier Freestyle Dash. Aurora offers all these features and much more. If you have a modded Xbox 360, then it's an absolute must that you would want a custom dashboard installed by default. Then we move on to the Emulation and Homebrew. The Xbox 360 has a wide range of emulation options to choose from, and that ranges from home computers such as DOSBox and the Commodore Amiga to 8 and 16-bit consoles like the NES, Sega Master System, Super NES, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, and more. And then we also have arcade emulation such as MAME 0.72 and Final Burn Alpha 360. Both emulators are excellent, and the Xbox 360 also has emulation support for the Panasonic 3DO, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and even the Sega Dreamcast. The popular emulation front-end RetroArch is also available on the Xbox 360. However, sadly, the code hasn't been updated since 2017. There were reports of RetroArch coming back, but this never seemed to eventuate. But there's also another emulator that comes with the Xbox 360, and that is the Fusion emulation that we talked about earlier. Fusion supports 400 or so original Xbox titles, but with a modded version runs many more titles, including original Xbox homebrew and emulators that aren't available for the Xbox 360. For example, the Sharp X68000 and others. OG Xbox backward compatibility is a feature that you get with the Xbox 360, but with a modded system, you have the ability to remove the whitelist checks and launch any original Xbox game with the emulation. Now, it's not perfect by any means, but many more titles that were not supported will load and run. And recently, there has been a new development with the Fusion emulation. For years, the only available release of the Fusion emulator was from 2007. However, in 2018, there was a compatibility update. This compatibility update was recently released in October by security researcher Matthew Hervé. And while I'm not sure that it adds anything new to the table, it's great to see compatibility updates still being released for the good old Xbox 360 in 2019. And of course, if anyone has any additional information on this compatibility update, please leave a comment below. Now, one big question that would be asked if you do consider modding your Xbox 360 is, will my console get banned? Well, the reality is it will not if you stay off Xbox Live. If you start connecting to Xbox Live with a modded system, then you do run the risk of getting your system hardware banned, which means there's no easy way of recovering that particular system. Now, there are ways to do it, but for all intents and purposes, your hardware will get banned. So my advice to you is, if you are looking to get a modded Xbox 360, then stay off of Xbox Live. So what else? Well, you get the ability to play region-free games on the Xbox 360. Now, this may not seem like a huge deal, but it actually kinda is. You see, the Xbox 360 had a bit of a following over in Japan, and there were exclusive to Japan Xbox 360 bullet hell shoot 'em up games that were released by Cave. You can't find these games anywhere else, and they were only exclusive to Japan, and won't run on anything other than a Japanese Xbox 360. Region lock games are a pain, and a modded Xbox removes this restriction. It also removes region locking on backward compatibility titles as well, as an added bonus. So you no longer need to buy a Japanese region Xbox 360 to play Japanese only titles. Just mod your Xbox 360, rip the game to your hard disk, and you are good to go. Xbox Live Arcade was a great feature of the Xbox 360, and sadly, while it's no longer available on the Xbox One X, you can still purchase and download games for the 360. But of course, one side effect of this is that over time, many popular games have been delisted from the Xbox Live Arcade, either due to license expiration or other reasons. One game that comes to mind is the popular Scott Pilgrim vs. the World by Ubisoft. With a modded Xbox 360, assuming that you can locate a copy of the game online, you have the ability to bring this game back, install it and run it with a custom dashboard, and enjoy it on your modded system. Now, of course, I haven't talked about things like Xbox Live and running cheats. Things like this go against what I believe the system should be used for when you consider a modded system. There are many resources out there that tell you how to do things like this, but you won't find them on this channel. But at the end of the day, Xbox 360s are cheap to find. The games are as well, and there are still some amazing titles that you can play for next to nothing. With the online services still intact and people still actively supporting and playing Xbox 360, the console itself just won't die. That in itself is very cool to see, but if you want to go the extra mile and really want to unlock and tap into some features that were just not possible with a retail system, do yourself a favor and consider modding your Xbox 360. I think you'll be very surprised at what it's capable of. So there you have it, guys. What do you think about the Xbox 360 in 2019? If you haven't used a modded 360 yet, do yourself a favor and look into getting your system modded. 360s are so cheap to buy these days, and getting a modding service to help you with it, or if you are skilled enough you can do it yourself. I will leave some links in the description below on some recommended modding guides that I would recommend to you guys to look at if you are thinking about doing it yourself. But of course, there's so many easy ways of getting your 360 modded these days. It's almost a no-brainer to do it, and you unlock so much really cool potential and tap into areas of the system that it was just not really designed for initially, but you get access to so many cool things and features and emulators, as well as the ability to run region-free games and all sorts of really cool things like custom dashboards. It's an absolute no-brainer in my opinion that you consider picking up a 360 and getting the system modded if it's something that you're interested in doing. Well guys, we're going to leave it here for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, you know what to do. Leave me a thumbs up. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.